Hello students, welcome to the Deep Logic YouTube channel. So today we finally going to discuss the second maintenance process, that is respiration. Are you excited? Happy, that we finally came to respiration. There is another good news that we have launched the WhatsApp channel in the name of Deep Logic. Follow for more PDF notes and previous year question papers regarding class 10, 11 and 12. Do follow it. Yeah. Now we are going to start the respiration part. G. When you are learning something, you should know the definition of it. Digestion का definition क्या है? Process of breaking of food into absorbable forms. Respiration का process of breakdown of food to release energy. Okay, दोनों में difference क्या है? दोनों में difference है. Digestion means the big molecule is converted into small absorbable molecules. है ना? The complete digestion where it happens? It happens in the small intestine. Small intestine में क्या होता है? विलाई होता है ना? विलाई के अंदर यहाँ पर blood vessels होता है. Blood vessels is like a pipe-like structure when you compare with a home. In our home, what is there in the pipe? Water. यहाँ पर blood. Okay. These absorbable forms come into the blood, and blood is a transportation material, and that is transported all over the body to each cell of the body also, we can say. And these all the nutrients, the absorbable forms, will come to each cell and says that I have energy, please extract it. Then the cell will give the 100% to extract the energy in the form of ATP. What we call this process? We call this process as cellular respiration. Cellular respiration, है ना? Yes. Then you must be thinking that we have thought respiration means breathing. No. Breathing is not equal to respiration. Breathing is just taking in the oxygen and giving out the carbon dioxide, exchange of gases. But respiration is like both. Breathing भी होता है, cellular respiration भी होता है. So I can say that breathing is just a small part of respiration. Just a part. Okay. Now we came to know that the energy should be extracted in the process of respiration. The major absorbable thing and important substrate what we use here is glucose. That's one of the carbohydrate. Glucose का formula क्या है? C6H12 and O6. We have to concentrate on C6. So glucose is a 6 carbon molecule. Okay. Glucose is converted into pyruvate, which is 3 carbon molecule, 2 times of pyruvate, because 6 होना चाहिए means क्या होना चाहिए? 3 plus 3 होना चाहिए ना. So 2 times of pyruvate will be generated. Where it is generated? In cytoplasm. And is there any release of energy? Yes, there is a small amount of energy is also released. Okay. Then the first thing next you have to learn, that is difference between anaerobic respiration and aerobic respiration. Okay. Aerobic means with oxygen. O2 है, यहाँ पर O2 नहीं है. Anaerobic का मतलब O2 नहीं है, in the absence of O2. Here in the presence of O2. Okay. We got now the pyruvate, which is 3 carbon molecule. First we will discuss what is there and what is going on in anaerobic respiration. Anaerobic का मतलब क्या है? Without oxygen, absence of oxygen. कहाँ पर होता है? ईस्ट में होता है. किस प्रोसेस में होता है? फर्मेंटेशन की. फर्मेंटेशन प्रोसेस में होता है. और क्या प्रोडक्ट मिलता है हमको? इथेनॉल, कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड एंड एनर्जी. You can see here it is 3 carbon molecule. Ethanol is 2 carbon and here CO2 is released. So total 3. Ethanol means OL. OL indicates it's an alcohol. OL indicates it's an alcohol. And eth indicates that it is 2. What we call for 1? Meth. Second, eth. Like that. Okay. You will learn in chemistry, है ना? Like that. Pyruvate in the presence of oxygen, which is aerobic respiration, where it happens mitochondria in eukaryotic cells, है ना? यहाँ पर क्या होता है? Pyruvate is a 3 carbon molecule. It is converted into carbon dioxide, water and energy. Carbon dioxide अकेला है, मतलब you should think that there is a 3 molecules of carbon dioxide is released in the presence of oxygen in mitochondria. You have to think. Next is in the lack of oxygen that will happen in our muscles. When means if you do any sudden exercise or sudden running, you will get cramps in legs, cramps in arms will get ना, that is because of this process. यहाँ पर lactic acid और energy release होता है. Lactic acid is a 3 carbon molecules. जी. From this part, the most of the questions can be asked in the MCQ or it may be in the long answers. You have to focus on this. It is important. Okay. Next, we will find the difference between photosynthesis and respiration. Photosynthesis और respiration कैसे अलग है जी. We know that in photosynthesis ना, the photosynthesis happens in only mesophyll cells. Mesophyll cells में क्या होता है? Chlorophyll होता है. Happens in only in green plants we can say, because green plants only have the chlorophyll जी. But respiration ऐसा नहीं है, like it happens in all the living cells. Photosynthesis occurs when only light is there, because it needs sunlight. It is one of the substrate है ना, इसलिए light होना चाहिए. But respiration, when you compare, take an example of the human, occurs at all the time. At night, we did we say that we will not breathe at night? No, we will breathe. In day, we will breathe. So occurs in all the times. So what is the substrate, main product they will use in photosynthesis? That is carbon dioxide and water. But here we will use one of the carbohydrates, that is glucose, and maybe with the help of oxygen or without the help of oxygen we will do respiration, है ना? Okay. Next, oxygen is released as end product in photosynthesis as a byproduct, and here पर we will take oxygen and we will release carbon dioxide. In photosynthesis, we will convert light energy to the chemical energy. What is chemical energy here? Glucose. यहाँ पर chemical energy is partly converted into heat and partly useful energy for various activities. That is converted in the form of ATP है ना, that is in the form of energy. Chemical energy, what we take in a form of glucose, that is converted into some energy and some other various partly useful things है ना. What is prepared here? Glucose is prepared, but here glucose is broken down and it is oxidized. What is here? It is constructive or anabolic process. Do you remember I have said that in metabolism we have two process, एक catabolism और एक anabolism है ना. यहाँ पर ऐसा ही होता है. Catabolism means it's a destructive means it's a breaking है ना. Photosynthesis में क्या होता है? We are preparing the glucose, means it is constructive, means it is anabolic, it is making. So there are 4 steps in respiration. Okay, the first one is breathing, the second is exchange between the lungs and the blood, the third is exchange between the blood and organ, the fourth is cellular respiration. We are going to deal with each of one. The breathing, nothing but that we take oxygen into our lungs through the external nostrils. That is called breathing, nothing else. After the air entering into the external nostrils, it is an nasal passage, and this is the pharynx, and this is the trachea, and these are branches are called bronchi, and this is how the lungs look like. And the bronchi is again divided into bronchioles, which we will learn again afterwards. And at the terminal end of bronchioles, there is an alveoli. Okay, if you zoom it out, the alveoli somewhat look like this. Beside each of the alveoli, there is a blood vessel. Okay, from this alveoli, the oxygen is taken like this. Okay, and there is a diffusion of gases in it. This is the second point. Then the blood transport the oxygen to all over the body, from up to down, everywhere, To each of the organ, the how much amount the oxygen is needed, that much amount is supplied. And in there, this if this is an organ, if this is the blood vessel, this is how the diffusion again happens. This oxygen will go into the organ. Organ में क्या होता है, बहुत सारा tissues. Organ is made up of tissues है ना, and tissues is made up of cells है ना. Each cell में mitochondria होता है. Each cell में mitochondria होता है. Mitochondria में क्या होता है, aerobic respiration, and that is called the cellular respiration, which we have already learned. So these are 4 steps happens in the respirations. And there are types of respiration also. We know that what is aerobic respiration and what is anaerobic respiration. Aerobic respiration में क्या होता है, ऑक्सीजन we needed, यहाँ पर आवश्यकता नहीं है ना. Aerobic respiration example we can give for mitochondria, in mitochondria, and anaerobic is like fermentation process, and in the muscle cells also we can give an example to it. One more important thing that we have saw these steps in the respiration है ना, like O2 is transported like 1 to 4 in this process, and CO2 is transported like in an against way, that 4 to 1. Okay, that you have understood. Next, at night when there is no photosynthesis occurring, CO2 elimination is the major exchange activity going on. Okay, then they can ask you a question that when there is no photosynthesis, what will happen in the major exchange activities going on? What is that? That is a CO2 elimination you have to answer. And during the day, CO2 is generated during the respiration, and that is used for photosynthesis with the help of sunlight and chlorophyll. We have saw that. And you have to remember, there is no roll off or release anything of CO2 here. There is only a byproduct of oxygen which is released during the photosynthesis है ना. Animals have evolved different organs for the uptake of oxygen from the environment for getting the rid of carbon dioxide. Yes, for example, if you take the fish has gills, has a respiratory organ, and human has lungs है ना. Like for example, if you take frog has skin, that will go with a cutaneous respiration. Skin, respiring through skin is a cutaneous respiration, but it too also have the lungs, but most of the time with the skin. Terrestrial animals can breathe oxygen in the atmosphere very easily, but when you compare the aquatic animals, it will be difficult because they have to respire through water itself है ना. वाटर में ऑक्सीजन लेवल कम होता है, इसलिए the respiratory animals breathing rate is slow when compared to the aquatic animals. Aquatic animals have faster breathing rate, and this you have understood right now. And then you see here, this is the lung autonomy we are studying right now. Okay, this is the external nostrils. When you see external nostrils, it's something like look like this है ना. Here पर mucus होता है और air भी होता है, hair होता है और mucus. Why you have this? Because of 2 reasons. One, to protect the body from the external dust particles which is coming through the air, and the other thing is to make the temperature of the air as the body has, like that. And when you come after the external nostrils है ना, this is nasal passage. This is what? This is nasal passage we call. This is pharynx. Pharynx is the common pipe for food and also the air. Then here the larynx comes, larynx, and trachea. Trachea you can see here है ना, trachea you can see, and trachea are covered by some ring structure. They are called cartilaginous rings. Why you should have the cartilaginous rings? Means the pipe should not collapse, and that have to a better grip over it for that purpose. And it is divided in the 5th thoracic region we call. This is the 5th thoracic region. Okay, you will learn in a class 11th. This is divided into two bronchi. This is called bronchi. And the bronchi is further divided into bronchioles. In the bronchioles, there are primary bronchioles, there are secondary bronchioles, there are terminal bronchioles, like that. At the end of terminal bronchioles, there is a alveoli. Okay, there is a alveoli. And alveoli, this layer is there, that is very delicate. Why it is very delicate? Because we know that यहाँ पर क्या होता है, diffusion होता है, यहाँ पर बहुत सारा blood vessels है ना. Oxygen is taken from the alveoli to the blood and CO2 is given to the alveoli by this process. Okay, then you have to remember one thing. After you release CO2, you took oxygen and you release CO2. Okay, still some of the air is there. Okay, that air we call that as RV. RV stand for residual volume. We call what? Residual volume. Shortly we call RV. You will learn TV, RV, IRV, ERV in the 11th. These all will come. Okay. Now for that purpose, you first only remember RV is a residual volume, which is after our expiration, still some of the air is there. And one more thing, you can see some structure like this, that is where heart is placed. Okay, that is where heart is placed. This is the left lung. Okay, the left lung is divided into two parts, superior, inferior. The right lung is divided into three parts, superior, middle and inferior. Fine? Yes. And you should also remember that यहाँ पर एक structure होता है, that is called diaphragm. Okay. And the mechanism you have to remember that when we take in the oxygen, these lungs will expand. Diaphragm ऐसा होता है पहले, after taking the oxygen in, that will turn into a flat like this. And these cavities will be swollen. This is the important thing. Fine. So this is the proper structure. You can see that it is the nasal cavity, pharynx, larynx, epiglottis. Epiglottis क्यों होता है? Like this is the trachea and this is esophagus. The epiglottis will be here because pharynx is the common region for air and also the food. If the food is coming, then it should only go for esophagus only, not trachea. For that purpose, epiglottis will close the opening of trachea like this. That is important. And yeah, this is the diaphragm. First ऐसा होता है, ऐसा dome shape से. After taking oxygen, it will become flat. That is important. Thanks for watching, and the next video is coming up with the important question of respiration. Stay tuned. Follow our WhatsApp channel Deeplogy, like, share, comment and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.